Obviously, defenses have worked hard in the offseason to address what you guys like to do. What were the takeaways from last week, both good and bad, beyond just the obvious ones? Turnovers,
Yeah.
always bad. Penalties that
Yeah.
take points off board, always bad.
Absolutely.
But, what are the other things that you can take away that you can be productive
Well,
with?
I think there were times I thought we ran our outside zone pretty good last week. Some of the better outside zones we've had all year. I thought we hit that pretty good. I think Marcus, over 120 yards rushing. That was a positive. First time he's been over 100. So, and then I thought at times we hit some big plays in the passing game. We got to be more consistent. I think we had 5, maybe 6 drops in the game. I mean, 4 of them on third downs, and our third down we were not very good. We're 5 for 18, I believe, but 4 drops is 9 for 18. That's 50%. Anybody will take that. So, we're just very inconsistent, and I think probably inconsistent has probably been the word all year offensively. At times we look good, we can move the ball. At other times we look like we hadn't even practiced, and so we've got to become more consistent. I mean, and really, it's some young guys. You got a mix of old and young. It's kind of ironic. I was thinking about it today. You got Colby and Bo and Taylor, who are fifth-year seniors who have played a ton of football, and then you got about 5 freshmen that are out there playing. I mean, so there's a big mix, and I think that's where the inconsistencies come from. And we continue to work on it every day, and hopefully, we'll start getting more consistent.
Most of that stuff typically starts up front. The game's still won and lost right on the line of scrimmage. Fourth downs, 4th and shorts last week. Not the success we're accustomed to seeing. Now, some of it's just who's putting the most hats in the box, but generally you guys are able to force your will on people at that point. So, what went on 4th downs last week on plays that generally you guys have a lot of success with?
Yeah, I think there was a couple of things, and I think it starts up front, and we didn't get to push a couple of times where we needed to get to push, and we didn't. And then there were a couple of times we didn't hit it where we needed to hit it, and it goes hand in hand. I think you got to have push up front with the offensive line, but your running back has to hit it in the spot he's supposed to hit it in order to get that first down. And then you got to get low, and you got to fight out the yards. I mean, and you're right, it was just very disappointing, disheartening last week what happened. And those are things we're working on to get better. And again, it starts up front. We're putting a lot of onus on our offensive line right now.
All right, new week, so new chance to do some things. Monroe is very injured right now defensively. Frank and I were talking about it. They like to get their corners up and pressure. They'll leave the safeties deep. They give up a lot of ground in the middle, just based on a couple of games that I watched from them. That would suggest that getting down the field and going at them vertically is going to be part of the game plan, but they're also susceptible to the run. Are you just going to have to kind of get there and see where they line up and then go at them, or are you going to really try to force maybe that run tempo early in the game?
Well, I think a little bit it's going to be what they do to us. I think as we line up and see it, I mean, are they going to be have one more in the box and then place a man on the outside? Then we're certainly going to have to take some shots down the field. I mean, I think you have to do that. Or are they going to back up with some young players in the state? Are they going to back off of us a little bit and maybe try to play underneath? Give you the underneath stuff. So that's something we'll see as we get in there. We certainly want to be able to run the football. It's imperative for us to have some big plays. I mean, you look back last week and we had a 16 or 17 play drive, and then we still have to set up for a field goal. I mean, we got to get the ball in the hands of some of these guys like Isaiah, like Virgil, some of these guys that can run, and so they can make some plays down the field. I'd love to be able to do that in the running game as well. If you get a pressure team and you break the line of scrimmage, you have an opportunity with some big runs, and we got to be able to do that this week.
And they do. I went and did a little bit of statistical study. They give up more 20-plus yard plays than anyone else in the league. So those chances are there, but does that require some patience? I mean, is there some setup that needs to come before you can consistently start hitting them on those?
I think it does at times. I think because with the pressure they are bringing, sometimes you're going to get a loss, because of the pressure they are bringing. At other times, you're going to split it, and then you're going to get some big plays. And for us, we want to convert those into touchdowns, and we're going to need that. We've had a slow start the last several games, and we need to get up early in this game, and so we need to have some big plays, and so we may press it a little bit more of trying to push the ball down the field earlier in this game.
General health of the team?
It's about the same. You know, we're in a stretch here where we've had a lot of guys dinged up, a lot of starters dinged up. You know, in the past we've had some guys dinged up, but they've maybe been down the line guys or special team guys that you don't really notice. And now we're looking at guys that are impact type players that are dinged up, and that's you know, that's unfortunate. We want to get those guys back, but we're still waiting for those guys to heal up, and you know, we'll see when they get back. And then up until then, that point, and some of these young guys are going to have to start making plays. We're counting on them.
Good deal. Thanks, Scott.
Yep.